called meeting to order at 5:05. Those present are
Miss Abney,
here.
Miss Dreyfus is absent. Miss Redmond,
Here.
Mr. Rieger,
Here.
Mr. Retz.
Here.
And here we have a quorum.
And the minutes of the previous meeting. Have you had a chance to look at those?
Well, they were not very.
There's not much there. I mean, we did. It's very well said that we didn't do anything.
Yeah. Actually, I would move approval of the minutes.
Second.
Is there objection? Minutes are approved as read. Old business.
None here.
New business. Is there anything we want to do with the assembly? Is there anything we need to do, Barbara, with the assembly at this point in time?
I think you're safe because no assembly member gets elected next year. The only election is the school board, but the mayor is elected next year. And because of the provision that the salary doesn't take effect until you stand for another election, I think we're okay at least until next year with the assembly. But you might want to address the mayor since.
And the other would be is if we wanted to make a change, it would be effective like the following after the
Next election.
At the current time, looking at their compensation, I'm not inclined even in a year to make a change in their compensation at the current time. So.
And didn't, if I'm reading this right, our action from like 2 years ago scheduled them out into 2012 anyway. So actually, they're just, it's not even.
Yeah, the assembly's in
right
pretty good shape.
Yeah.
And
School board would be in similar.
and probably I would amend the agenda to add a number 5, which would be MLMP. If that's
Okay.
You need a
No
motion?
objection.
If there's no objection, we'll put MLMP as number 5. That way it'll show in the minutes that we discussed it.
Yep.
Okay, so then the question is, do we want to look at the school board, we've already, do we need a motion to say we're not going to take any action on this? Or do we have to have a public, are we required to have a public meeting?
No, not unless we're going to take some action.
I think that's correct.
Okay, I read through that and I wasn't sure, so.
At least that's my understanding of it. And so, under new business, is any action that you want to take on the assembly?
No.
No action on the assembly. School board,
No.
No.
mayor,
No. Same thing there, right?
Well, the question I have is,
The mayor
mayor's
is
taken care of.
7111 is our last one, which means that next year's mayor would come in at this year's salary.
correct.
Well, he is a little different.
And I believe would stay that way through the whole 3 years.
And
Yeah.
so we have to make the decision by April if the salary of 129,062 is going to be increased.
As of April of next year.
And we won't be on.
And we won't be on the board. We all expire on the 14th of October.
We all finish our term.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't like the idea of expiring?
That's something I want to bring up later in the meeting anyway, so.
Okay, so at this point, it wouldn't be something we would need to do.
Well, that was when we came in. If you recall, we came in that kind of crisis because there were looming decisions to be made. And
There hadn't been a meeting in a long, long time.
had been a meeting and we were very short. Here's my view though. Personally, I guess I'm not very. I guess I'm not. The mayor increase depends upon, in my view, has always we've always sought hard to have it synchronized with the overall city financial situation. We've never wanted. If you're asking people to take big concessions, it's not a good time. You know, I've always felt that we have to follow the spirit of the leadership of the municipality to a degree, and I'm not sure we know what that is. I just think it would be very hard for me to decide that. I almost, in some ways, would almost suggest that the incoming group deal with it close to the election, having a sense of the city budget, the city conversation, and where things are going with the overall workforce.
Well, I don't know.
Let me read to you what it says here in just a moment. This is a Resolution 2008-1, and the resolution establishing compensation for the mayor of the municipality of Anchorage commencing on July 1, 2009 for the mayor elected in April 2009,
Right.
election and subsequent elections. And this is where we gave him the 4%.
Well, we did in 10 of, and then
The salary shall increase 4% per year on July 1 of 2010
okay, what we
and
did was,
2011.
that's correct. Although, okay, now
What does it say about anything? Is it silent about what comes after?
The mayor, following the certification of the regular 2009 election commencing on July 1, 2009, will not acquire an accumulative annual leave.
right?
Section 3, the provisions of sections 1 and 2 shall remain in effect until changed in accordance with section 5.08 of the Anchorage Municipal Charter.
Let me tell you what's happened to executive compensation. We all received a 5% cut,
Yeah.
and a year and a half later received a 3% add back. So we're still down at net 2
You're down
for
at net
2
2.
years.
Yeah, my comment was gonna be that I think that we should do.
And he
that-
said 4%.
Yeah,
cumulative.
and I don't think that 4% should continue, and I think that I think even now that we could take some action and either reduce, I don't know if there should be an increase in the next 3 years. Does that, or,
Well, of course, that's the hard part. Because
and the part of it is,
It's not getting cheaper.
129,000 is,
No.
but 129,000 is a pretty darn good compensation for the mayor. Isn't it?
Where's it say he's getting 129,000?
It says right here.
It's in that schedule. It's,
Yeah.
that's
It's
right
it's
here.
the one that'll take effect. It's in the
It's in
packet. I don't
effect,
know.
it's in effect as of July 1st, 2011.
I don't think I have that piece of paper. Here
It's
we
right
go,
here.
salary for
yeah,
the
you got it.
assembly and chairman.
And it's next.
And mine only goes to 2008. Wait a minute, let me find the
It's in
mayor.
here. It's in this packet, Pat.
It's in this, it's in the packet today.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's where I was missing it, right? I was looking at an old
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, no.
Thank you. Okay, so by 2011, next month, he would, or in July, he would be making 129,000. Well, you think that's too much?
Well, I think it's a good amount right there. I don't say it's too much, but I don't know if I'm willing to have an increase in 2012 another 4%. I'm not going to change 2011 because that's in place and it's been in place. We could, but that doesn't seem.
How much is cost of living actually going up when you look at fuel, you look at food, which they're not counting in the cost of living anymore?
I know they threw it out.
I am hesitant to deal with it, and the new board, the new commission, would have the opportunity to deal with that.
Or we could lower it to
You know,
3% or 2%.
Well,
my view is, I don't know if 129 is right or not, because that's a data-based issue. I've generally taken the philosophy that those institutions affected, unless you see something that's really anomalous, like a 7-year gap, the institutions that are affected need to bring it to our attention if they feel something is anomalous. And I haven't heard that
From
raised.
this.
So, well, but, you know, I realize it's not a perfect world, but it doesn't seem like anyone is complaining about it. I was aware that there were pretty strong austerity measures by the current mayor on the workforce overall.
But not
And-
himself.
Well, I don't know that he's come to us and asked us to retard the,
He hasn't, it hasn't come to me.
okay, but
Matt Clayman did come to us and
asked
asked for it to be reduced.
I don't have a basis to increase or reduce. I would say we don't address it. That would be my vote, that we leave it as is, but we don't increase it.
Well, I think the current one should stay as is through 2011.
Right, it would-
But I'm looking at in No, why not? We're here. We can say the next 3 years out or 4 years what it's going to be if we wanted to.
Well, we could, but I guess my view is if I'm not comfortable with dealing with the immediate next year, I don't really have a base. It could be in 6 months the decision is made to reduce this because the city is in a much, much tighter position or something like that. So I don't have, I guess I'm not moved to have a 3-year schedule at this point.
Steve?
You know, there's an element of gut feel to this too, but you know, my gut feel is not. It's similar to John's, but not on whether we take action on 2012. I mean, I think that in the 3-year schedule that was adopted, as circumstances unfolded, you know, both in Anchorage, and I think, you know, nationwide, salaries have not increased at 4% rates. I mean, so
That
this
turned out to
has
be
exceeded
high.
it.
It
And
did turn out to be.
so I don't think that an increase is justified, but I kind of, you know, it's kind of like just something that you rarely cut. I mean, I know you got cut, but that's really rare. And,
Yeah.
and so that says, okay, if it does, there's not a case for increasing, and there's not really much of a precedent for cutting, except in real exigent type places, then the only option left is to hold it steady. And then the question is, do we leave it silent, or do we take the action now of specifying, of holding it steady for either 1 year or 2 years or 3 years?
Well, my
you know?
thought about it is
Interesting idea.
that
See, I was thinking
there will
that's
be
probably what I was
a new,
thinking.
a new board, maybe us, but very likely not, in October. They'll have the option of dealing with it in next April, if they wish to do so.
Do they have to, will that give them time to do that?
Yes,
I
but
mean,
they
can't
have to
remember.
hustle.
Yeah,
Because we
I was
had to
gonna say.
hustle.
We had to hustle
Yeah.
and we did it, or they could, and if they have before April to do it, they have from October next year of this year until,
No, I think they have to do it by December.
I think so.
They have to do it by December.
I'm sorry, by
These are details,
December.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I should have.
As I remember, we had to do it by,
Yeah.
there was a deadline, and I think
Yeah,
it was
and
in
it was either
December.
December
And so-
or budget time. I think it
And
might
if they
be
felt that
budget time.
the new commission feels that it's important that they do something, then they can. We did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hear that. I mean, it's not like I'm dug in on it. I
Right.
guess I lean towards specifying 2012 and leaving the other 2 years silent. But
Except
If the mayor runs on a
I
3-year.
I understand that.
Yeah, it'll
but
be-
that
it'll
gives
be-
the new commission the
Yeah.
chance to really establish a precedent of what the next election will
Mhm.
bring. You know,
That's what
they,
I was-
They can see how events unfold. I mean, if there's inflation or
That's
or
what
not.
I'm thinking. I kind
Yeah.
of, that's kind of guess what I was trying to get at. That's the first term of, if it's a
And
one-term
we-
mayor, is the first term would be
At 129.
at 129.62, and then if that person is reelected, then the second term might be higher or whatever the next commission decides. But I'm just concerned that I don't want to see another 4% increase. I'm uncomfortable with that.
And again, I apologize for not having brushed up on this, just filling in. But I think from what you read, Pat,
Mm-hmm.
this sets up a 4%. So you would have to take action.
To stop it.
To stop
it.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, see,
so
that's
I
what
think
I'm-
there's an action. If you don't want the 4% every year, there's an action that probably needs to be
Right,
taken.
and that's, I guess that's what I was considering when I looked, the way this, what it says in subsequent elections, and then it lists these 3 years, but it doesn't say,
I thought the intention was 3 years, but what was?
You wanna look at what
Frankly,
it says
it's-
here?
What it says is what counts, yeah.
here's the
here's
copy.
what it-
Here's
it's in
my
that.
copy. Look at it.
Well, that's
Got
what I
it
was
in
trying
here
to-
too, I'm just trying to
We
process
should,
it.
I'm trying to remember our note, I don't think I have any minutes from that one, I, with me anyway, well, maybe.
I guess I don't read this to think it goes to 2012.
Actually,
I
I
think
don't.
it's-
I don't either.
I
It's
don't
quite
know.
specific, 4% in 10 and 4% in 11.
But read the last paragraph.
Mayor, fine.
That almost sounds like something that
Shall
some
remain in
attorney
effect
put
until
in.
changed in accordance with.
It's kind of like
True.
it's kind of like the what do they call it? What's that?
But the provision
It's not clause, they
is
put it
2
in.
years. The provision isn't
But the
for
mayor is
entry.
only, yeah, that's right, this was, but it doesn't address I think though, the mayor's elected every 3 years, right? So this is talking about elections, and then this defines the amount in each of the years. These were not election years, only this one was an election year.
Right, what we were doing, and again, maybe with some risk of, but we were playing a little bit of catch up because
Right
there was
there, yeah.
definitely it was definitely, remember there was that big 7-year gap in there and everything. So we had our eyes open, I believe, but it says the provisions, but that doesn't, in my mind, mean that you add 212, 13, 14. That means that if something comes up in the interim period there, shall remain in effect until changed in
And then,
accordance. So
and that
there
would
was,
be our time for change.
and there would be a change in 508 if that happened, but I think we just clearly just did 9, 10, and 11.
And, yeah, but I think in order,
Well, but number 3
otherwise.
is there and signed.
Yeah, and see, this says, until we change it, so as that reads, we should take some action.
Yeah, but you changed
If we wanna change
2010 and
it, we
11. Well, no, I don't think it says it goes beyond 12.
I read 3 as saying until change.
The provisions of section 2 shall remain in effect.
But the
until-
provisions are only 2010 and 11.
Following this,
And shall remain in effect.
But
oh,
that's
that's
it.
this one,
Until-
section 2 is the accumulated leave.
Yeah, the provisions of
Oh,
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
I don't think,
one is.
to me, a provision is what's in it. And it simply says what's in it shall remain in effect. And remember, something 5.8 could have happened in the middle of all of that. But the provision is just 2010 and 11. I guess we'd need to have guidance on that, but I don't think that last.
Section
I know
3?
you're not an attorney, but you've seen a lot of these things. Do you interpret that to me?
Here, let me,
She's got it.
Because I guess I don't. I think the provisions
Okay.
are the provisions, and there's no provision there that says it goes beyond 11. So there's nothing to be in effect beyond 11.
I think we would have been pretty clear at saying, and shall continue 4% per year thereafter, until.
yeah, I think that's right, because it's very clear, the 4% on July 1 and 4%.
Those are the provisions.
Yeah, I think
Right.
that's right.
And those two stay in effect. It doesn't
Okay,
add.
Yeah,
so what does 3 mean?
Well, there were things like the present charter says that the mayor's salary can't be increased, the mayor's in office. There's all that other stuff. It kind of is, I look at that as kind of boilerplate that says, this is the deal
Unless
the
it's
charter
changed.
changes.
Unless it's changed.
Okay.
And it could have been changed in 6 months, so it's conceivable it could have come in at
Okay,
a
I
time. That's
understand
how I
that.
read
Thank
it as
you.
well.
Okay, I read it differently, but with your
Yeah.
discussion, I agree with you.
I think it's just
Okay.
opening up that possibility.
So then
So-
the question comes, should we take action on the 2012?
And I guess I still think, I lean towards doing it. I mean,
I am too.
But I'm not dug in on it.
I guess my concern is, I know how tight our time was, even though we tried to do this all in a timely manner. I think if we're gonna do it, we should do it, and then if the next commission comes in and decides they want to change
They
it.
can't do it within for a year.
Right.
after-
They'd have to,
They'd have to wait a year, and that's not a problem.
No, it is a problem, because
The
they,
mayor's-
after the election.
Yeah, and so that would be, well, it's a problem for the next, there wouldn't be an increase in the mayor's salary for that year.
Right.
Should we call
For
it?
3 years.
Well,
because-
for 3 years,
yeah.
right, it'd be 3 years.
I guess my view is, if there's no way to deal with it, that's one thing, but there is a way. I mean, the October group can deal with it with the sense of urgency if they want to, and as long as that is available, it doesn't. I just don't feel like I know whether we should be freezing the mayor for 3 years or reducing it by, if there's slashing and burning across the city for the next 9 months. In October, you might want to reduce the mayor's salary. So I guess I feel like since there is an opportunity in October, and since we don't really have a strong basis at least I don't feel that there's a strong basis to know whether it should go up, down, or sideways. But I'm not uncomfortable if it simply defaults to 129. I'm not uncomfortable if it defaults where it is. So if they don't take action, it's going to effectively do
Will
what
it,
she
or will it
suggests.
be 4%? That's.
No.
It won't be
No,
4%.
it won't
be
It would
4%.
be the 129, okay.
It won't be 4%. Yeah. And you could double check that after the meeting if
Yeah.
you found
No,
it. But I'm sure I'm
And
comfortable.
if you find that it's different, let us know, and we can decide if we want to do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
if we find it is 4%, I would like to get back
You
together
know,
and
the
address
thing
it.
that I look at is,
But I'm sure it's
things
not.
are not moving at a great rate, but they're moving up. The economy is moving up. And the expenses are definitely moving up at a tremendous rate.
True, but that's true, they are, but not everybody's getting increases just because expenses are moving up.
No. No. Actually, to be frank, I think there'd be as much chance that I would want to see a reduction
Really?
as
Did
an
you-
increase.
I
If
would-
we were doing later in the year. At the present time, I don't necessarily feel that way. But, you know, we'll see. I mean, if there's sacrifices being given throughout the workforce, I feel the mayor needs to have.
Make a
Have that
sacrifice
I'm-
also?
I would want to, like, maybe change, if we even kept an increase in, a standard increase, I want to lower the amount from the 4% to a smaller percentage.
Right.
And for sure, back to my original.
Well-
Or keep it at 129 for 3 years.
Right. Default it to 129.
Okay. Is
So-
anybody gonna make a motion?
Guess not for 2 to 2, and I didn't feel that dug in on it anyway.
What?
Yeah, I think John's got some good arguments for doing it that way,
Later.
and it's just, you know, it's whether people think it's more important to keep the option open, or for people that don't kind of know what the deal is, and it's, you know, it's
Well-
a close call, and I'm
I'm-
quite comfortable if someone feels strong.
Okay, if there's no, and if there's no
So-
motion, we'll move on. And we,
Can I ask a question? Will those notes be in the minutes? I mean, some of
there
the
was a
discussion
discussion.
about it? Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the next was AWW. I don't see any change in the compensation for AWW.
so basically, the discussion was, since everyone else basically has taken a cut in pay,
Right.
should the mayor also be considered for a cut in pay? Or frozen?
Frozen
Or
or a cut.
frozen or a cut.
And I
Okay.
think that in the tipping balance, in my mind, is that since there will be another opportunity to address it with more information, that and that we're comfortable if there's no change, that we wouldn't take action. Because I think we're all comfortable with a no change scenario. The only question is, do we lock it in? That would seem to be the
The
question.
question is whether we lock it in, but I wouldn't want, if there's a kind of going to be a qualitative description of the discussion, that we had a bias one way or the other.
Right.
No.
Yeah, no, it's an open
So-
discussion, yeah.
No, an open
I mean,
discussion.
I mean,
Actually,
whether it was up or down,
Most
or even.
good minutes are a lot like this. A lot of
Yeah.
times they don't, if somebody wants to go look at the record, they can. But I think you're right, we just should show that we discussed that one item
Okay.
and that chose not to take action. But I appreciate your points. I've always appreciated that you will stick up for what you believe.
Well, I don't always give in the end.
No, you don't.
Okay.
We'll see.
And no action, shall we take any action regarding the AWWU board?
I don't think there's been an issue raised there.
I think that their compensation is adequate for what, at this current time.
Any discussion on the MLMP board?
I
Are
feel
they the same as AWW?
Yes.
Yes, it
Oh, the
is the
same
same.
compensation, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, this
Yes.
was listed in.
Right,
here.
it's a $500 for the chair and $400 for each member.
So at this point, I don't see any change being made for them. And then, I see, because we haven't taken any action, we don't need to schedule a public meeting, right?
That's
Right.
correct.
But I do have a question on the terms of a board. This was originally supposed to be staggered in all of ours.
Yes,
Do you have the forms for us can we reapply to be on the board again?
they'll apply to Jay Jackson, I can send an email out to all, to each of you.
Okay,
It's,
Actually,
go ahead.
let me suggest we show another new business, if you could add it to the agenda.
Sure.
That way it can at least, because I think we ought to at least note that we discussed Because I would like a little guidance on that too. I'm not clear as to what the process is for the commission.
Say again.
Well, I would like to know what the process is, and maybe we can close the meeting and do it after the meeting. I don't know what you want, or maybe we should put
Well,
it on.
I'm not
as
sure
a-
what you're asking for.
Well, we're talking about the commission itself and the changes that are coming up in the commission. That's all, and I'd like to have that discussion because I'm not sure what the plan is, and so we either could do it after the
Okay,
meeting, or
one of the things, we could add
or
six,
we could add six
commission
five-
terms.
5C, yeah, commission terms. I was thinking that might be good
Yeah.
to show it on the minutes.
Okay,
I don't know how we got to where we were all on the same cycle
I
because
don't
there was-
either.
I think it might have been a vacancy that was filled but they didn't enter it that way.
or
Um,
did the,
Or they let it run
did
vacant.
the last mayor ask all of them to resign and then just reappoint?
No, because we were appointed at different time. You and I were the same, but Steve, you came in later
Yeah, I
Well, he came in as a
And-
replacement
as replacement.
for Patrick Flynn.
Okay, but Pat's term wasn't the same as, I thought we came in on staggered terms to
I really
begin
don't
with.
know what the original terms were. I have two lists here, and neither one are dated, just so that the term expires 10/14/11. And where's the
I don't think I have my original one.
What I will do is have somebody go back through all the appointment memos and see if in fact, if the list is correct or what the thing is.
You know, I would
Then
say
I'll get
this,
back to you.
I don't know that you need to do a lot of homework unless this is wrong.
No, well,
This doesn't seem to match our,
It doesn't,
Oh,
No.
here, yeah.
but I will
Oh,
go.
that's the water and wastewater.
it's
too.
possible
Well,
that
let's see
somebody
here. Term,
decided to do that.
somewhere under, I may have it here. Let's see, Municipality of Anchorage, Emoluments, elected commission officials, resolution, commission, meeting on October 13th, December 13th.
It says specifically at the, oh no.
There was a move, and I can't remember which year it was sometime within the past 8 years while I was here. I can't believe it's been 8 years. But there was a move to put all the commissions on an October schedule because they were
Right.
just higgledy-piggledy through the year. And so at that point, I don't know if there's a mistake made at
Okay,
that point.
let's see if I can find
That,
the beginning of
I can
this.
understand the October
Oh,
schedule.
here we
it
go,
was just
on
the-
resolution 2005-1, it gives all our terms expiring the same time.
Okay.
2005. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so they do.
That's what it says, yep, that's what it says, that little note at the bottom. And
Okay.
you see that then, huh?
This is what I have right here, you all look at it.
No,
Was
it's
that-
not that
Be
we
it
don't believe
resolved,
you.
the
I just-
Anchorage Salaries and Emoluments Commission, that compensation for the, nope, that's not it. How did this come, I have it together, but apparently it doesn't fit with that one, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll check.
Because
Okay, then,
Yeah,
then
we should just,
we will ask the clerk to check on the terms of,
Confirm expiration so that we all have our,
confirm expirations of the commission, particularly relating to staggered terms.
yeah, because I think I'm on my second term initially, but,
are you up this year?
well, we all are.
Well, but were you expecting to be?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, you came on the same time I did, didn't you?
Yeah,
And so,
I came on the same time.
and we were all appointed for the same terms.
for 5 years, but that's been, how long ago? It's been more than 5 years.
Well, 2005, end of 2005, 6, 7,
I guess
8,
it is
9,
now.
10, 11. I'm
Yeah.
not sure exactly where they span it.
I think
Because
we
there's another
came,
group coming in at 11, so this is, in a way, this is the end of 10.
Yeah, that's right, so it would be,
'Cause
I
there's
don't know.
another, so this is our 5 years. So, it's just probably,
who was on here before? Patrick, yeah, Patrick was here first.
Leo,
Yeah,
Leo,
well, unless there's something, and public comments, we don't have any public here today,
No.
except unless you want to give us some information, Barbara.
no, I can give you any information you want. I don't have anything spontaneous to tell you. But
Okay.
If you want.
Member comments?
no, I think this is interesting. This is an interesting
Mhm.
project. I enjoy doing this one. do a little bit of research.
Yeah, my comment is it's been nice serving with you guys, and you've done a great job. Always nice coming in and having you here. So,
Yeah,
if we don't see you again, it's been a pleasure.
Tuesday nights, you know where to find me.
I'll see you again.
Oh.
We will see you again. but
We
this group
actually-
has been. You've done a nice job chairing it. So all around, I'll just give my compliments. I have never heard people not speaking about it from a objective effort to do the right thing. I've not heard any of this partisanship and this
Oh.
other stuff creep in here. It's been a nice group to work with.
No, I'm happy. I mean, yeah, that's great.
And it's been my pleasure to work with you all. And I hope that what we did sets a precedent for future groups.
And if they have, I have a research, I have a whole bunch of stuff that came from a previous member. I still have that. I think I still have a box of, I hope. I'm trying to clean out my house, so I might just dump it. I mean, it's old material now, so it isn't relevant. It's just our current. But the previous public member that was on gave me all her research.
Well, good.
That was a long time ago.
The only thing I have, and this is off the record, okay?
Oh, well, you need to adjourn then.
I
Yeah,
move
we need to-
we adjourn.
Second.
No objection?